Renton Thurston is a 14-year-old boy who lived with his mechanic grandfather in a backwater town. However, one day, a girl named Eureka comes with her LFO looking to get a tune-up. However, she inadvertently got attention of the military, and after the garage was destroyed, Renton is forced to deliver a new type of interface, the Amida drive. Shortly thereafter, Renton is invited to the Gecko State. Starting with the positives, I liked a good majority of the characters. A lot of them were interesting. There were some that were entertaining. And besides two characters, which we'll get to later on in this video, I pretty much liked everybody in this show. And not one character besides those two got on my nerves. Another positive is that the action scenes are fantastic. The animation was done by Studio Bones, and they're known to do some really good stuff. They even made it my top 5 anime studios of all time, and this goes to prove it. They're a really good studio, and a lot of the animation's fluid. I love the 2000s look that Bones has, and overall it's aesthetically pleasing. And also, I love the romance between Taiho and Holland. That was a mature adult romance of two characters trying to better themselves as people and basically growing up and maturing. I really loved that plot and just their dynamic. Taiho is probably my favorite character in the show. She's absolutely bae. I really wasn't digging the music. The background music was alright, and some of the OPs just sucked so bad, and I don't know why they did. The first OP is good. The rest of them are, oh boy, they're not good. Some of the animation is just janky. The songs they use just don't fit the show very well, and overall it's just a bad choice of song for OPs and even the EDs. The first ED is the best one. The rest of them suck, and the same goes for the OPs. While I do like a good majority of the cast, I do not like the main character Renton at all. He has his moments of being really cool and kind of powerful, being a strong character, but for the most part, he's just kind of a whiny brat, and most of the time it doesn't change throughout the entire series, and I could forgive that, but I just wish that maybe we had a bit of a time skip, and maybe we could have seen a much more older, much more mature version of Renton, but we don't. We get this annoying, whiny 14-year-old, and I get it. He's 14, and not every 14-year-old is going to mature, but he is the main character. He's the character that has the perspective of the entire world, and I don't know, maybe to me a little bit more maturity could have been put into his character, though I do understand why some people may disagree with me just because maybe they watched it back in the day when they were a teenager and they can sympathize with Renton. And it's not that he's an awful character, it's just I wish that he wasn't so whiny. And the other character I have a big problem with is Dewey Novak, the main protagonist of this story, and he is so bland. Oh my god, he might as well be a bowl of white rice and nothing else. Just that plain, boring meal, if you want to call it that, of just blandness that tastes like nothing. You know what I mean? Like, that's pretty much what he is. His entire thing is that he just commits mass murder, and his personality is just so bland, and it's like, Jesus Christ. I could have accepted if Anoname was the main antagonist of the show, but unfortunately Dewey is, and he's not very convincing. He's just an old fuck that has some weird views. Now, throughout this show, this is a romance between Eureka and Renton, and while I could see it as being cute and kind of warm, I guess, it just comes across as kind of cringy. It's like, will they, won't they kiss? I mean, obviously they have feelings for each other, but they all kind of feel forced. There's a moment towards the end, and I won't spoil it, but like Eureka starts to change, and it's kind of cringy. And I get it, they're young, all that stuff, but it's like, it felt forced, and I didn't like it. It's not the worst romance plot out there. It's definitely better than some, but it all just came down to the cringe factor for me. Maybe it's just because I'm older and I kind of relate more towards the adult characters in the show than the kids, but I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Overall, Eureka 7 was pretty good. I won't say that it's a classic like Full Metal Alchemist or anything like that, but I will say that it is an enjoyable show. If I was a lot younger and watched this back in the day, I could see myself getting really into it. It's got really good action, the animation's good, and there's some pretty funny moments here and there. But overall, as an adult, it was pretty good. I still enjoyed it, and I bought it on Blu-ray, and I do recommend that you do check it out. Let me know down below what you thought of Eureka 7, and give this video a like, and subscribe if you want to see more anime content. Big thanks to Miasma Senpai, Warpbait, and my name is Doofy for supporting me on Patreon. You guys are awesome.